keep talking. And then we'll see where this goes. Well, we always, any of you have any questions before we begin?
Not really.
Okay.
I've been singing you all day, listening to your website.
You're going to be doing more, and this is going to be more intimate. There's a few of us doing you here. Well, one more than my voice because I did it in three-part harmony. So when I do it out loud, you guys will do it silently inside.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, unless you're a professional singer, our Hughes would probably sound pretty strange and not in harmony. It doesn't matter. But we want to get a good recording quality for your benefit. The first thing we always do to prepare for any journey is it's like asking the source to help you put your body to sleep and stay alert to go on the journey. That's what we're doing when we're sending out the hue. It doesn't just come out, and it's not like sending out the hue and then the little fairy comes down and waves a magic wand and makes you perfect, because you wouldn't keep it if it was given to you. You would lose it in 24 hours. Subconscious influences would see to that. So for people on Earth, recovering their higher faculties of the Atma requires they also recover higher wisdom to use them correctly. The journeys have a lot to do with that. Along with waking up things that you've long made to forget, comes the added bonus of getting a certain wisdom imparted through you, so you naturally know how to use energy and the hue in benevolent ways towards all life. This is part of the training. It's part of why we're here. And it is the path to being free from being ever incarnated again in some body somewhere on any planet with no memory. We don't want that. We don't want that to continue. So it ends this whole reincarnation unconscious thing. And it also ends Maya or illusion, or the illusion in any of the planes where we run bodies that we are one of those bodies. We are not. We're not the etheric body. It's transparent. Looks human. You can see all the energy centers, but it is still a form you run. It isn't who we are. Very pure compared to a physical body on Earth. But it's a heck of a time trying to get an etheric presence you're running to want to experience going beyond the void. Because it's really the Atma that does that. And then it imparts that journey or that wisdom to the etheric body. The etheric body doesn't go above the void. And they usually don't desire to do it anyway. In fact, your etheric body probably doesn't desire to help your mental body normally, or your causal or astral, and they should be working together. When you don't remember anything on Earth, you can rest assured, it's certain, that the astral, causal, mental, and etheric bodies don't remember the beginnings of anything either, or how they got there. That's the lower worlds of time and space. Those are phenomenal worlds, but they are not any kind of an indicator of how things work above the void. They are also not an indicator of how things work amongst normal worlds in the Milky Way galaxy and other galaxies. They are very, very, very different from Earth people. And Earth people are in no position whatsoever to require anybody coming here from other worlds to do things Earth people's way, because Earth people have got it all wrong, and they don't know how to move correctly or decide for themselves while they're alive running a body on Earth what's the best action to take so they can recover who they are. They don't think this way. And that's unfortunate, because all the people I know are people you might admire. Rockets to space, computers, all the people in all of the stocks and all the stuff that's going on Earth that have the billions. are visionary only for the physical body and the physical universe. They are not thinking outside the box. They are not imagining other worlds. They are not going to higher dimensions and coming back to Earth. If you think about it, it's kind of like almost a waste of time what they're doing, because rocket ships with explosive fuel and oxygen will never ever be fast enough and will not be capable of journeying very far into our solar system. Ever. They're too slow. You can't carry enough fuel to go very far. And they're too, take what, 1.75 years each way to go to Mars? And that's during the year when the Mars is closest to us. So there are certain things that have to happen for anybody to get in one of those tin cans and ride it to Mars. And it isn't the way they are now, because you have to have artificial gravity to survive it. This is known in the US, it's known in Russia, it's known in NASA. I'm sure the person who runs we won't mention a company, knows this too. There has to be artificial gravity some way. And if somebody came to me and said, Mr. Lemriel, we'll give you $10 million to get on our ship to Mars, 1.5 years each way, I would not accept it. I would not go on such a trip. I would not want to be bottled up in one of those tin cans 1.5 years each way for all the money in the world. Even with artificial gravity, just would not be. I'm too used to the way things really work amongst advanced spacefaring races, and it's not that way. So sooner or later, for us to be a spacefaring race, we have to jump from rockets to something else, don't we? How are they going to make that transition the way the monetary systems on this planet are set up now? They're all geared to support that, aren't they? They're not set up to traverse the star systems. So major changes in that way would take eons of time for people on Earth the way they are to develop such technology if they survive it. It's better that we be given the technology and the wisdom to know how to use it when we're ready, and then we can play among the stars. We don't have to develop it on our own. It's already been done by humans and other races millions, even billions of years ago. And people on Earth have no idea whatsoever that this is the fact of life beyond their world. The superior beings, the much more advanced enlightened beings, in massive numbers you can't comprehend, exist in the greater heaven beyond Earth, not on Earth. It's going to be a big ego blow for people to find out just how far behind the 8 ball they are in advancements, cures, longevity, space travel, everything you can think of. How about leaving your body as a master in a masterful way? Putting it on automatic and going and doing stuff and coming back and running it. See, that's normal. This is what we want to do. So we have to awaken this long lost ability we all have, suppressed or hidden, or we're afraid of it, and begin to gain it back, the confidence in doing it. So the first thing we want to do is send out the hue. I will use my vocal cords, and then you guys do it silently inside. And we're going to do that 6 times at first, but that's not the only time we're doing it. You'll be able to match my tones perfectly because you're not using your vocal cords to do it. It's the Atma. So does the Atma sing? Yes, the Atma sings. Does it hear pure tones like your vocal cords from a human would be? It hears far more than that. Sees infinitely more than that. Hears on all the dimensional levels. It is designed to do that. All the different levels of the spectrum of light with little teardrop-shaped faculties in them that surround the white core of your being as a single individual are designed and interactive with and connected to the hue in the multidimensional universe, not just in the physical universe. This is something that people are not raised to understand. They don't imagine it. They never get their IQ out of planet Earth, so it's very limited. Doesn't matter if a person has photographic memory or not. If they don't use their greater intelligence of the atma they are, not the body and brain they have, they're going to be stuck running around on Earth because it just isn't a high enough IQ. The atma has no measurable IQ. It goes far beyond any measurable IQ on planet Earth. A normal atma goes into the 10,000 IQ compared to someone on Earth. So there's no measurements on Earth or any science on Earth for comparing what you can do and what your body can or cannot do. The body does nothing. It can or cannot imagine. It can or cannot build anything. It is the atma running it that does that. I will begin sending out the hue now. Just do it with me. What we've done is open a doorway, and this is an automatic process. You're actually doing it consciously, but not through your brain, the personality you think with on Earth. The atma actually opens the door through the pineal gland, or the hue will do it for you as it moves through you. It's like connecting a circuit from what you are as an atma in a conscious way to the brain and personality of the body you have, so you can enlighten it. The whole point of going to sleep at night, people on Earth do not know, is to leave their body to gain enlightenment and advancement and bring it back to their life on Earth. People on Earth are not doing that. They're leaving their bodies, but they aren't bringing any awareness of it back at all. It's blocked. Their religious beliefs block it, political beliefs block it, fear blocks it. The higher faculties, or city powers they're called, or higher faculties of the atma, do not work ever with fear. The two are not compatible. So obviously the answer to everyone's questions about how to change, including my own, is we must find a way to turn off fear or get rid of negative programs and habits in the subconscious. People on Earth have a subconscious awareness. It's not their conscious self. That is artificial. That was also implanted. So we shouldn't have a subconscious influence at all. Normal people in other worlds do not have subconscious minds. So who better to solve Earth's problems than them? Because people on Earth certainly can't do it. They're not awake enough to change any direction they're heading right now. Some of the things that are taking place on Earth right now are not being orchestrated by anybody in any government on Earth's planet. Or they wouldn't be happening the unexpected changes we're seeing now, including the beginning of disclosure. You could look at it this way. Take 450 million spacefaring worlds in just half the Milky Way galaxy, and the trillions of beings on them all, and take a vote versus the unconscious decision people on Earth would make, given the chance. People on Earth would say, let's have an Armageddon, let's blow ourselves up. And the greater majority out there would vote against it because that would harm other beings, not just on Earth. So that's the reason we haven't had a nuclear war. This opens a doorway so that you can find yourself up near the ceiling looking down on your body. Now, this is exactly the same ability to see and imagine. If you imagine going to the store, or out in the country, or driving the car, or getting on a jet airplane, flying across the world, you first imagine doing it before it can happen. The body simply follows in order to get where you imagine. An example would be imagining going on a vacation to Hawaii. But it's haphazard. You really not really want to go. You just think it'd be a cool idea. Or you'd really like to go somewhere on some vacation, but you're really not excited about it like you should be. You won't get there. But when you're really impassioned about doing something, the road is paved ahead of your feet. Not by the body, not by your brain, not by the intelligence you grew up with, but by the Atma that's running the body, unconsciously running the body. When you're more conscious, you're up near the ceiling, all you're doing is, instead of going to the store, you're looking and seeing what your body looks like when you're above it. Simple stuff. You just imagine what it would look like down there. Asleep, in the trance state. There is a couple from the Galactic Alliance signed to all of us. In this case, for me, they are Satnam and Ambassador Trillian. Sometimes it's a Galactic Alliance couple, just like it is for you. They're very adept at keeping your subconscious fears of the present and future turned off for this journey. They know what they're doing. They are not in their physical bodies. They put them in the trance state back on the Emerald Star Cruiser or some other ship. They come and join us and volunteer to do this work. They have senior commanders and senior people are all aware of this. So in a sense, they may not be landing and picking you up in a ship, but they're picking you up nonetheless. There's a white golden light flowing down through your ceiling. It looks like very faint pastel energy. Flows right through the spherical being you are that's looking down at your body. The Galactic Alliance couple, one male, one female, well dressed in a Galactic Alliance uniform, are standing beside you. They are spherical beings running the forms they choose to show us. Their physical bodies are not here. You are showing them a body that looks to be about 36, perfectly formed, ideally handsome or ideally beautiful if you're a woman. For a man, perfect. It is a form you've always used to show others who you are, because there was a form that looked human we used before human bodies were created, before engines and apparatus like bodies on all the planets were brought into existence. And that was done so that the Atma could run bodies in these different planes and gain the benefit of the experience of being in a matter world or an earth world or a world like Earth's atmosphere. The energy is flowing through you for your benefit, but it continues to flow through you for the benefit of others, and particularly to recharge Earth's H2O in the oceans and air. This is underway. This must take place first before enough people, in fact, it must take place first before people on Earth can wake up even enough to even begin to respect life from other worlds, should they choose to come here when they do. People have to be respectful of life beyond Earth, not in competition with it. One example of this is to say openly that more advanced beings, spiritually more advanced, consciously aware more advanced, technologically more advanced, that come here from other worlds, do not have any of the religions that are practiced on this planet. Not one. And they know more about divine spirit and the source than people on earth can even imagine. These are the kind of beings that could help us if people weren't willing to fight to the death to defend their belief systems. This is a problem for Earth people. This has to be fixed, raised in vibration for all the people in all the faiths and all the politics of this planet. That starts by charging Earth's water. This is the key. It cannot be charged by people on Earth. They're too unconscious to do their part, or they would be doing it. So it has to be initially charged from outside Earth. All of you have something to do with this process now, not in the future, because you're going on these journeys. Part of your cooperative efforts with the source energy itself, the omnipresent first sound behind creation, is that you agree to help be part of the solution, and you stepped out of being part of the problem. There's a brighter flash of light through the ceiling, and you find yourselves in outer space, right outside of Earth's atmosphere, further out than the shuttle flies. You're looking at Earth with its polar ice caps and beautiful oceans. Look blue from here. Land masses, no bridges, you don't see any barriers or walls between countries. A dead moon, a barren moon, orbiting the Earth that does not turn on its axis at all because it's broken. And then you have the single sun. Then you have the solar system of planets revolving around the sun in larger orbital pathways. But out in space, we don't see it as a dark blue or black like you see in a Hubble Space Telescope image. It's a golden white light everywhere. It looks more vividly clear to be light than light looks on Earth. It's hard to describe because it's not physical eyes that see it. There's a sound that the physical universe produces, a universal sound like a deep humming, almost like thunder, almost like a rumbling, very subtle, not frightening, no lightning. It is uplifting. In the astral plane, a higher heaven, you could call it, below the void, it makes a different sound, universally. In the causal, it's different. In the mental and etheric, and so forth. When you get up into the void and higher, it becomes like the single high note of a flute. It's the closest thing you can say that it sounds like, but it isn't a flute. It's just kind of like that, but much more beautiful. And it is a thread of universal consciousness, an omnipresent field of energy, from the source through which everything flows and maintains things like bodies and planets and stars and galaxies and doorways and interdimensional portals. We are in space, in a circle of beings around Ambassador Turelian. Why him? Well, first of all, they immortalized their physical human 12-stranded DNA over 1 billion Earth years ago. 1 billion, not 1 million. They don't have a physical body to push around, feed, and take to the bathroom. So that such beings hang out with us is an indication that whatever they're doing is going to rub off on us to some degree. This is why we rub shoulders with them. The hue comes through them in a much more powerful and clean way, a non-misdirected way, and it moves through us. So Turelian is showing you a body form 18 feet tall, because that's how tall it was when it was around. It's not made of DNA or matter or molecules. It's well dressed like a white gown, slightly pointed ears, big crystal clear blue eyes. Looks like a Greek god. And he is standing there with his closed fists with 2 thumbs up, with a foot-thick brighter white golden light around them than space provides. And if you look at him and look up, you'll see a spherical being, bigger than us, brighter. And above him is Eta and Din. They are master teachers. They are not carbon-based in their home world. They are silica-based. So they're showing you an image of their pale green bodies, big bulbous dark blue eyes, tail glowing like crystal opal in bright sunlight, standing on their hind legs upright like a person. Thumb and 5 fingers, big toe and little toes, just like a person. You can't really say they look like a salamander or a lizard because they don't. They just are what they are. They're from planet Oceania. Master Opellum is in a circle around Turelian, further out in space, to my right. Master Ramu is by Earth, further to Margaret's left. Now you're on the other side of this circle, so there's a balance. Galactic Alliance couple is standing beside you. They're taller than you are. Their bodies are even on their home world planets. The forms they're showing us are, in their physical form, are many hundreds of years old. In some cases, thousands. The telomeres on their DNA, which is 4-stranded, do not shrink when cells divide. This is just higher science. Higher above Eta and Din is Master Light C. Short, thin, Asian master from ancient times in China. He's not from China originally. Blue eyes, which most Asians do not have. He's got a little cap or hat on, little esoteric symbols on his maroon-colored robe. He only has an etheric body in the lower worlds, and he's showing it to you. He works in the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, in the Big Pyramid, the first right turn down the Western roadway. We will pass by that on our way to the end of that roadway to turn right into a clearing to visit another teaching facility. And above Light Z is Satnam. Standing below the open round vortex opening of a huge hourglass-shaped golden white light whirling clockwise. There's a pastel cobalt blue light. All the way at the other end you can see, that is the void. And around the outside circumference of this hourglass-shaped doorway is a blue-green water in 2 layers, moving slower clockwise, surrounding it. Looks like water, luminous water. But it isn't. In space, in the hue where we are now, all that dark area, that black area you see in space, images of galaxies and all that, does not come out on photographic or radio telescopes or optical equipment. The color of many of the colors of these galaxies and stars we see because the electronic equipment that photographs them also includes infrared and ultraviolet spectrums. So the Atma can see them for what they are. It takes electronic equipment on Earth to see them as they really are. And then it does not even detect or show in a print what the hue looks like in space. It still shows it as dark blue or black. That space is not dark matter as they used to call it. It was dark because they couldn't see it. But it doesn't mean it wasn't luminous. They just couldn't detect it with physical eyes. So they know that's a powerful singular energy now. So they've coined a phrase for it. It's called zero-point energy, the energy of the universe. Unlimited. It powers spacecraft to travel among the stars, even between galaxies. It is not radioactive fuel. That's outlawed outside of Earth. To use anything destructive like that. To what? Boil water to drive steam to make electricity? That's all nuclear stuff does. Basically, in nuclear reactors, all they're doing is boiling water to make electricity, to power submarines and whatever. I don't really see how powering boiling water to drive steam to make electricity could create warp-driven spaceships. It's a contradiction in terms, really. Unless they can electrically power something that will do that. But other than that, creating unbalanced isotopes that are radioactive and deadly for nuclear bomb-grade ore is only destructive. There is nothing ever that will become constructive out of such things. So people don't use them in other worlds. They don't have to. We are in the hue, the omnipresent field of the first sound behind creation. Literally floating in it in space around Turelian. We aren't physical bodies. We don't need to breathe. You don't need to eat. You don't need to go to the bathroom. You are the Atma running a form you project that looks human. But it isn't. Turelian raises his right fist upward, and this foot-thick golden white light around it brightens. It's creating an oval-shaped, transparent golden white light surrounding all of us, and two couples of master teachers between each of you that are going on this journey. That's 8. I will not name them. They're people who are going to teach in the Hue Expansionary Academy by direct example. That light that surrounds us has a vibrational frequency and a sound coming from source. It's a high note of a flute. And Turelian looks up, we look up, and we're suddenly projected, following Satnam right up into this vortex. Standing to each side of him, we now see two couples, alternating male and female, in single-colored robes or gowns. Blue, green, yellow, red, and big Atmas hovering above them. Long hair to their shoulders. Each one has a different color hair, different color skin. But you can't see any facial features because where their face would be is a white golden light. Hovering above them is an Atma 4 times in diameter, larger than we are. And they disappear up this vortex. And we're shot in this oval light that Turelian's creating, up into this vortex. We look like coming up into the middle of the narrowing central section of this hourglass-shaped vortex. It's transparent. And as we slow to pass upward into the widening section above it, we can see layers and levels of galaxies, one on top of the other, each one brighter and larger than the one below. And then we're suddenly shot up into the cobalt blue pastel light, brighter than anything like 10,000 suns. But it's still, I call it a pale cobalt blue light. It has that quality. And we're moving upward at tremendous speed through the void. This is a realm bigger than the lower universes. Yet there's nothing here. Just this cobalt blue light everywhere. There's no buildings or floating land masses or anything like that. So many people have misinterpreted this and said, well, this is God. This is the realm of the Supreme Being. No, it isn't. We look up ahead and we begin to see what is called the Atma plane at the upper end of the void. We know that the vortex we've just passed through to get into the void continues beyond Satnam's realm, up through the U Expansion Ray Academy, up through many dimensions, higher realities, into Agam Purush's fiery realm, and then, by permission, upward into Source or Prime Creator. It actually goes further than that. It goes upwards into the realm of the silent mentors. It goes upward beyond them into the realm of the Hue Expansion Ray plane, which is a new reality brought into existence in order to facilitate retiring evil as an experiment, replacing with the wisdom of the Hue Expansion Ray. That is the omnipresent living spirit or presence that is not an individual, that we are made of. We live and move and have our being in that omnipresent ocean. We are in the far wonderful, mystic, far more brilliant cobalt blue space that surrounds the massive floating circular landmass of Satnam's realm. As we approach it, we see these massive trees, like jungle trees, but there are fruit trees and redwoods and every kind of tree you can think of. First represented here along this white diamond-like beach. It's glowing a foot above this perfectly round, spherically polished, diamond-like crystals glowing. It extends to left and right as far as you can see and curves in on itself. This is up above the cobalt blue space of the void. And then there's this presence, this circular landmass. Satnam is moving up above the trees. As we pass over the top of these trees, they're luminous. The trunks have a white golden light running through them. They're transparent. Birds with long V-shaped split tails, thousands of rainbow colors blended in their feathers, beautifully, subtly blended. Big blue eyes, these split V tails look kind of like a blue jay. But they got twin sets of bird wings and they're fluttering around like a hummingbird or like a dragonfly with two sets of wings, but like a hummingbird hovering and moving quickly from one place to another. As we move over the trees, these birds join us, male and female, one couple by each of you, and the Galactic Alliance representatives who are keeping your fears turned off for the journey. That's a piece of cake for them. Above these birds are hovering silent mentors, 4 times in diameter and size larger than we are. They're just giving you an idea that these birds are not birds. They're silent mentors, and they're singing the hue all around us. It's flowing through us, and then it's entering the void. It's actually keeping the void luminous. These beings are maintaining the void. And then they disappear in the trees. We see this vortex extending up above Satnam's statue, we see below, standing in a fountain, scalloped white stone, scalloped edged, 100-foot in diameter white stone floor. Surrounding it are concentrically expanding circles of 4-foot high flowering plants. It's a botanical paradise. And above it is the vortex. It extends in the brighter cobalt space that surrounds Satnam's realm. And it extends up above that space and it continues upward. Turlian raises his closed fists with thumbs up again, and we find ourselves shot upward in a teardrop-shaped golden light up through this vortex. We come out the other end, and we are actually looking into the distance at the huge floating massive landmass, circular landmass known as the Hue Expansion Ray Academy. We see it far in the distance. Surrounding its entire circumference is the brighter, radiant, white diamond-like beach with a luminous blue and slightly green-tinted wave that is continuously crashing on that beach. It is circling the circumference of the Hue Expansion Ray Academy landmass, and it never stops. The sound here is beyond the flute. It's beyond violins. It's beyond any orchestra you can hear on earth. We're instantly projected across the top of the huge circular landmass and stop to hover high above the transparent, blue glass-like pointed end of the U Expansion Ray Academy Tower. It is built coming out of a disc-shaped island at the base of 6 bluestone snow-covered mountains. There's this donut-shaped lake around it, luminous, calm like a sheet of glass. The tower is wide at the bottom, cylindrical, and it narrows as it comes up to a flattened oval 2/3 of the way up it, with a big fountain in it, with a blue stone scalloped edge fountain. No statue of Sotno. And then up to a minaret point almost as tall as the mountains. And we're hovering above that point looking down on this. There's a shaft of white golden light pouring down through the top of this Hugh Expansion Ray Academy Tower. It goes down into the base of that island, through a device, a crystal sphere, hovering above a 4-foot high, 2-foot wide, lapis lazuli blue and gold lace type stone, with a radiant cobalt blue and star in the center. And it's channeled down inside the hollowed out interior of the Hugh Expansion Ray Academy. That is a silent mentor training facility in the hollowed out oval interior. And we look out over the entire circumference of the Hugh Expansion Ray Academy. It's massive. It's continent-sized. The base of each of these 6 snow-covered bluestone mountains is horseshoe-shaped golden tunnels, out of which flow white stone roadways all around the base. So you have a white stone roadway going west, north, south, east, and then roads between them bisecting each quadrant. All the roads lead through massive countrysides, massive orchards. Every type of animal you can imagine and being is here working together. They are atmas above the forms they're showing each other, remembering. When we look down the western roadway and we find ourselves moving around Torellian, still within this oval golden light he's created. We're moving over the top of this western roadway. To the right, the first turn is a big, massive, 4-sided, golden-sided, quartz-capped pyramid. And Light Sea is hovering above the top of it, waving at you. Inside is the Tree of Life. It's massive inside. Foot-thick golden quartz floor. Big, massive silver golden tree. It's called the Tree of Life. It connects to another tree in Agam Purusha's fiery realm, many dimensions above here. We are going down the western roadway all the way to the end, and we see the luminous diamond-like beach glowing and looming in front of us, and the cobalt blue space much brighter that surrounds all of the Hugh Expansion Ray Academy landmass, because there are no planets or moons or suns or stars here. Everything here creates and emanates its own light, including all of you. We take a right turn into a massive circular clearing. We see an Olympic-sized swimming pool with blue stone in the base and luminous blue-green water, radiant. Along the left side of the pool, toward the ocean, is a wide blue stone walk pathway. We move along it to the end of the pool, and then we see a huge rectangular building, glass-like, blue glass-like. In the center of the wall we're approaching at the end of the walkway is like a 10-foot high, split in half, circular blue glass door. On the sides and on top of this structure are long, oval-shaped, convexly pointing upward, sets of 3 windows in 3 rows. Those are actually doorways to other realities, like a lens. And these doors open, and a man and a woman, 10 feet tall, step out with their adult son, who's a foot shorter than they are. They telepathically share with all of us that they are official instructors for visitors like us to discover together new co-created ways of doing things. And they come from a planetary system located in the galaxy, 5 galaxies away from the Milky Way galaxy, back down in the physical universe. They represent a masterful race of beings known as the Dos Ventalis race. And they are directly related to the Xentronomus race that is located on the other side of the Milky Way galaxy, in the parallel dimension where Earth is. The taller couple is approximately 10 feet tall with longer torsos, arms, legs, and longer fingers than Earth humans. They have ivory-colored skin, like moonstone. The man with radiant green eyes is Don Trontil. His wife with radiant ruby eyes is Womalam. And their adult son, Tian Tassel, with radiant violet eyes, like the Xentronomus race has, is a full foot shorter than them. Each individual in this most ancient race becomes an adult at the age of about 100 years compared to Earth people. But they reach their full height only after many hundreds of years. They invite us to enter their facility, sweeping their right hands toward the round door behind them that is opened inside the walls of this rectangular building. It's the size of a soccer stadium. We are still inside the oval, transparent, white golden light surrounding Trillian, and we simply dart through the opening to discover the wondrous, vast soccer stadium-sized space inside it. A luminous foot-tall green grass covers the entire ground, and there are 3 semi-spheric convex domed windows in 3 rows across the top of the massive rectangular ceiling. We saw them from outside the building. However, up near the center of the ceiling is a huge floating, transparent golden energy sphere. It's made of the hue from the source itself. A moment later, we all find ourselves inside the sphere, surrounding Trillian. There's no oval light around us now. We're individuals around Trillian, surrounding below this golden energy sphere. Each one of us then begins to see the planet Earth from space, at the center of the golden light sphere surrounding us. Then each one of us begins to imagine what it will be like after this planet is transformed by the radiance of the Hue expansion ray. That is the golden white light inside the surrounding radiant golden sphere. We are all seeing a transformed Earth, each in our own way. This is something we just do. We're co-creatively involved here. Consider this device a way to project this change right down and superimpose it over Earth when the time comes. This was not mentioned in the journey with Al last night. It is being mentioned now for a few. Now we find ourselves surrounding Trillian, high up in the brilliant cobalt blue space above the pointed tip of the Hue Expansion Ray Academy Tower. We have instantly bilocated from being inside this training facility at the end of the Western Roadway to being back above the center of this massive landmass. And we see Master Ramu with his glowing staff held in his right hand, and Master Opelum with the faceted rectangular emerald doorway matrix crystal hung from its gold chain around his neck. This is something you find out about only in the Parallel Time Trilogy. It's not in the Sayra's agenda. Master Trillian is now standing very tall behind him and Master Opelum. You all know he has pale blue skin, jet black hair, emerald green eyes, wearing a Galactic Lance uniform. He's showing you a body form like the one he has on Oceania in the physical galaxy of the Milky Way. That's over 500,000 years old, unaged. These are masters of genetic science. and we need their help. Turelian standing very tall behind both of them. A golden luminous aura is surrounding him. Their true spherical Atma beings are hovering above the heads of the non-physical body forms they choose to show us. A sudden flash of brighter golden white light coming from the combined spheres of Master Ramu, Master Opelum, and Master Turelian instantly projects us up into the massive hourglass-shaped vortex again that we all see is still in the cobalt blue space far above the Hue Expansion Ray Academy Tower. We come out the other end to find ourselves at the radiant white golden light center of the Source or Prime Creator. We have traveled through many higher realms. We've even bypassed the fiery realm of Agam Purusha, but we'll get to that. The three master teachers now move right into each other and blend into one larger wondrous Atma presence. We are in the center white golden light at the core of the spherical presence of the Ancient One. Agam Purusha appears hovering nearby us, having already given us permission to be here. Then we hear the Source begin to speak with us. Welcome, courageous travelers, to your real home once again. This is the Source realm, referred to by fully awakened co-creative Atma beings as the Source or Prime Creator. No time and space or negative nature exists here, where truth cannot elude you. Each time you return here, you are gradually evolving into something wonderful. Something new that has not existed before in the grand multidimensional creation. Now you will be returned to the body forms you each run on the etheric, mental, causal, astral, and to your physical forms on Earth. To stay here any longer would mean the end of your physical body on Earth. A brighter flash of golden white light instantly finds us all moving toward the etheric dimension or plane just below the mighty void. We have been instantly transported all the way from Source to the beginning of the void, to the end of the void rather, above the etheric plane. A radiant field of energy that looks like a rainbow-colored aurora borealis, or what is called the Northern Lights, is just below us. As a group around Turelian inside the oval transparent light surrounding us, we then pass right through this barrier and stop to view our etheric, transparent, luminous body forms, each one of us standing on a golden glowing foot-thick quartz-like steps with eyes closed. Etheric body is transparent. It looks like it's wearing clothes. The energy centers are visible. It's a transparent energy form. Each one of you is standing on this quartz floor, this golden luminous thing, on one of many thousands of islands the size of planets. You're standing in front of luminous, transparent crystalline palaces, each one different. Each luminous crystalline palace is sitting on its own land, surrounded by a mighty blue luminous ocean of sound and light. Master Turelian and Master Satnam instantly appear simultaneously, standing just behind each of our etheric bodies, to compel them to open their eyes and gaze upward to see beyond the void and into Satnam's realm. Then they are compelled to gaze downward to see our mental body forms on the mental plane below it, awake and gazing up at them. The mental body form is bigger, taller, more vibrant, more radiant, better dressed. The environment's beyond imagining. And you're each standing in the balcony of your own palace here. Then our mental body forms are compelled to gaze downward and behold our causal body forms gazing upward, to see the mental body forms gazing down at them. So they're already awake now. And the causal body is on one of many millions of worlds. Each one of you is on one of those worlds. They are much different than our worlds around galaxies in the physical universe. Cause and effect is where we learn mastery here. The causal body forms, the awakened causal body forms are now compelled to gaze downward to see our awakened astral body forms, each one of us standing on our own luminous blue sandy beach. The little round crystals that are glowing are like the diamond-like crystals at Satnam's realm. This is astral. Things glow, waters glow in the astral plane, especially where we're going, where we are. The astral forms are gazing up to see our causal body forms gazing down at them. Then our astral body forms are compelled to gaze downward to see our true spherical atma forms hovering near the ceiling in the homes where we live on earth. As the atma, your true self, you are gazing upward to see your astral body form gazing down at you, smiling. They're awake with each other. Then we simply vanish to instantly find ourselves floating near the ceiling of the homes where we live on earth. This is direct projection, not astral travel. It's beyond what people call, I don't want to use the term, we'll call it atma travel, is beyond any other form of travel. The white golden light of the U expansion ray we brought back from source is flowing down through the atma we are, through our bodies still in the trance state we call sleep, and out through the walls of our homes. It continues to recharge the hue in Earth's depleted atmosphere, in its water systems, in the oceans. It is the H2O, comprised of two gases together that make water, that is charged in this way. It continues to three massive golden-sided quartz-crowned pyramids stationed on Earth right now. One is at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. One is at the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. At the bottom of what? Several miles of water. And one is located inside the hollowed-out interior of a mountain hidden deep inside the Himalayan mountain range. The hue beams flow out of all three pyramids to join together into one more massive beam that flows into a more massive pyramid through space, through our solar system, that is stationed between two stable asteroids in the asteroid field that orbits the Sun between Mars and Jupiter. The hue beam is projected from a special fountain inside this pyramid to the galactic core axis of the Milky Way galaxy, where it continues up into the golden white vortex at its center. It is not a black hole. And all the way back to Source or Prime Creator, where we just came from. We are back. Awaken your sleeping bodies and open your eyes. Then I will ask you to turn on your mics. If you're still here. I think you're all doing great because you're staying with this and not falling asleep. Remember in the old days when we started how you'd keep going to sleep all the time? I think this would be a little bit better for you, Al, than even last night's journey in some ways.
I feel better with it. Yeah.
Huh?
I think the
Ooh, lower your volume a little bit, sir. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's still doing the same thing. The interpretation, interference, when you speak and then Perry talks, it kind of
Well,
alters.
it's harder to follow, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because you
yeah.
have to
This is
listen to
smoother.
yeah, because it's English, and I have to do. You wouldn't have any idea. You couldn't even imagine what I have to do to make that work.
Yeah,
The patience that's involved, pacing it, saying just so much, letting her speak. This is because those people need to hear this in their own language.
Yeah.
That's why it takes longer to do those journeys and a really long time for the questions and answer, because it has to be very thoroughly done. They're getting a lot of
yeah.
benefit out of it. Would you say that, Al? They're getting tremendous benefit out of it.
I
Oh,
think
yeah. I see.
You
I
can
see a
see it.
lot of improvements.
Yeah, you can see it in their faces. The questions are getting a little bit deeper, a little bit more starting to answer their own questions, which is the whole point.
Yeah.
So, do any of you have any comments you'd like to make, or questions, or anything you'd like answered?
mm, mm,
Just gonna melt into your pillows, huh?
yeah.
I don't blame you. What about you, Al? You've got something you got to say. I can tell.
No, I'm good. I feel so blessed and we're grateful for the journey.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
where I am.
Yeah,
Really,
you notice how your conversation is now deliberately changed to the Atma I am instead of my Atma.
yeah.
Al doesn't own an Atma. The Atma owns you, and it doesn't even possess the body. It just runs it. Atmas don't
I think,
claim ownership over things they run like we possess things on Earth. They don't do that. They're responsible for them, but responsibility is a free will two-way street.
yeah.
It's not a trap or a subconscious manipulation or some kind of misdirected subconscious fear. What we're doing on these journeys, because of Galactic Alliance help, because of beings who volunteer to keep our fears turned off, gives us the opportunity to recover. Because without them, we could not. Maybe
Yeah.
not. Maybe not ever. Maybe another billion years. Who knows? The U expansion ray is now moving through Earth and our solar system in a way that has never happened before in 200 billion years.
Yeah.
It's only going one way to change things. It's not going to be the same old universe when this is done. It will never be the same planet Earth again. It's not being allowed to be destroyed so far. Poles don't flip on this planet. No more Golden Age to Iron Age. That is over. When Paul Twitchell was around and started putting out the hue, right?
Yeah.
He didn't know this, as it wasn't happening back then like this. The hue was not created on Earth. It's not owned or possessed by anyone. Anybody that attempts to own it and sell it and make it like a possession will suffer. It will not put up with it. So we don't want to use the omnipresent living power behind the creation in selfish ways. We want it to work through us for our benefit, yes, of course. But it requires that we permit it to work through us for the benefit of all life. That is how we really are. That's our true nature as awakened Atmas. It's our natural nature, not like the nature you see misrepresented on Earth by animals tearing each other apart, people tearing each other apart. You know, the massive fear that's run this planet to kill and consume things is just staggering. It's the reason people don't wake up here. Consider Earth is a place you get sent to when you've already, in a sense, been sent to hell. Because everything's asleep and unconscious, tearing each other apart. It's like Dante's Inferno right here on this planet. This is a place you want to change or get out of and then change it. So we're learning how to get out of it, bring change back here, which makes us part of the solution and no longer part of the problem. This is great news. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because even though you had lives thousands of years old and four-stranded DNA bodies and lived in the Galactic Alliance and thousands of lifetimes before this one, the problem is, what is it that we didn't do Or what is it we didn't know that made us vulnerable to be trapped and captured and put here? That's the real question people should be asking. They can't ask that question if they don't even know they were put here without volunteering to do it. Nobody would volunteer to come here like this, unconscious on this planet. No one. Of course they wouldn't. Unless you're unconscious and thrown here, no matter what you say, are put here without your free will involved at all.
Yeah.
That's how people end up on Earth. And this goes back before reptilians and greys and all that kind of thing. It goes back billions of years. The hue, this omnipresent living power, this first sound, literally supports the multi-dimensional creation. Not just planet Earth and our sun.
Mm. It's everywhere.
People on Earth are older than the stars, and they have no idea that this is true. They're so unconscious and so closed down and so misdirected from fear from birth. They haven't got a ghost of a hell of a chance of recovering who they are without help. You can call it divine help if you want. Without more benevolent help from the stars, the greater heaven outside of Earth must decide to come here to fix this place. Because if they don't, you might as well bend over and kiss your ass goodbye. Because we won't fix this place on our own. We're not alone in the universe, and that's a good thing. Like I said, if we really were, nobody would have come here when we started setting off hydrogen bombs. They wouldn't have been concerned. That's the reason they started showing up in the first place. People blowing up radioactive weapons in their own atmosphere just to test the stupid things? What sane people on any planet would ever do that? No one. The influences that created that did not come from this planet, and they weren't the good guys. They are no longer a threat. They are no longer in our solar system. This work is the first and only work on this planet that tells you the truth about this ahead of disclosure. Disclosure is not being compelled to be done or underway by people on Earth, no matter what their egos may think. It is being done despite their limiting, self-limiting, fear-making decisions.
Yeah.
It's being done around them because it has to be. And they're being involved in it. And they're cooperating as much as they can, as fast as they can. But I can tell you, there is a time limit. And if they don't disclose faster, it'll be done without them. Boom, right around them.
Yeah.
And everybody will know who's been lying to who. This will not be good for leaders
Then
on.
they'll be lying.
So we don't want that kind of riots in the streets and all that kind of nonsense. People, the energy on Earth, the storage of the hue and the water vapor in the oceans and the H2O in this element is required first to get the vibration rate up so people can at least choose, even scared to death, to make right choices. One of those choices coming up for people here is and at some point to choose, all 8 billion people will choose at some point to request the presence of the more advanced life beyond the stars to be here to help us learn to straighten out this mess, because they know exactly how to do it. It's ancient to them. It's not new. They have all the technology. They don't have disease. They're not like people on Earth. Earth has been retarded in some ways more than any other world and held back because it was made like a Switzerland at the end of the last Great War. No good guys or bad guys were allowed to run it or control it. So there was a Cold War going around this planet ever since, 500,000 years of it. Earth's had polar flip problems, destroying whole civilizations. Had to be recolonized many times. That is now permanently over. We would already had a polar flip. There wouldn't be any need to discuss Iran or nuclear weapons. It would have ended all life here in 24 hours. Less than that, actually. And then we'd have a kind of an ice age for a while. Ice ages do not gradually come about like people have taught in schools. Theory. They come about overnight. They're very dramatic. So it's a good thing that the poles of this planet will not flip anymore. The beings who did this weren't even known. They knew about them, but they had no relationship with silent mentors. The beings who run the mechanics of creation are real. They're not involved with caring about our evolution or waking up an atom or making you a master teacher. They're too busy for any of that. But they actually got involved to stop Earth's flipping poles. This was not seen in 1965. It was not known anywhere. So something has changed out in the universe from the source down. We just went and involved ourselves in a creative process in a special training facility
We did.
at the end of the Western Road. And we were directly involved in helping to visualize Earth being transformed. We have added our voice to, for the record, in the Hue expansion ray. This is what we have to do to wake up. We earn our wings this way.
Mm.
And we gain the wisdom we need to keep it when we get it permanently. That's the real beauty of it. So if you don't have any more questions, do you have any questions at all? You want to talk about something
do.
else? Yeah.
I'm trying to remember the name of the 10-year-old boy that was the family on that journey.
Oh, he's not a 10-year-old boy. He's an adult male.
Oh, and the dot, yeah, but looks
It's a
about
hundred.
His name is Tian Tassel.
tea and tussle.
Tian Tassel. Yeah.
Tea and tussle.
They don't have Earth names. It's like the Xeantronamus race with Donantalus and Freshun Muntus. Freshun Muntus almost sounds Egyptian.
Yeah, it does.
Because that culture was directly influenced in some way by Xeantronamus race are master geneticists. The Oceanians are master geneticists.
Right.
The Say-Rays were master geneticists before all of them that taught them.
Yeah.
1 billion years ago. Now think about, these are the beings that are fellow Atmas that we could be helped by if we had our heads out of our asses and could look around and respect life. I'm praying to God, but oh no, they're not as superior as we are. We're the chosen ones. That's nonsense.
I know.
All life is respectable.
Mm.
The beings outside of Earth respect life in ways people on Earth can't even comprehend yet. Fear would keep them from doing that. So the only purpose for this work is to help people let go of the addictive bad habit of fear. You know what keeps a person attached to an implant, keeping it running? Fear. Loves that kind of thing. One thing you're gaining in these journeys is the ability to have right discrimination. The opposite of lust is not abstinence from sex. Or the lust is also lust for money or food or accumulating things, whatever. The opposite of lust is right discrimination.
Yep.
The ability to make common sense decisions without the influence of fear, outside of us or subconsciously. This is what we're gaining. It's what is natural for us. So yeah, and I will mention those names again. They're very unusual.
Yeah.
Well, Freshun Muntus and Donantalus is unusual. Sean Rawl with a hyphen was my name before this life as an ambassador. I didn't make it out of being killed. How come? How was I vulnerable? This is a question I've been asking all my life. And believe me, I've gotten a whole lot of wisdom and answers from asking the right questions.
Oh, good.
I still don't have that one answered entirely. That's ongoing. So they're called the Donantalus race, directly connected to the Xeantronamus race. They come from the same galaxy. They didn't split off like in anger. Half of them went one way to help develop other galaxies, so they ended up on the other side of our galaxy, developing more than half the planets in it.
Yeah.
And the other half stayed where they were. So the sun has the violet eyes like the Xeantronamus, But on their whole world system, they also have ruby red eyes and emerald green eyes.
Right.
So, but they're the same body type, see?
Yeah.
And those bodies got first developed all the way up in the mental plane, where each one of you are scientists, still to this day. And you have that type of form, not like the one you have on Earth. So you need to be aware of this.
Yeah. I saw one come in.
So let's see. The man has radiant green eyes is Don Trontil. His wife with radiant ruby red eyes is Womalam.
Womalam.
And their adult son Tian Tussle with radiant violet eyes like the Xeantronomus race has is a full foot shorter than them, but he's an adult male.
Interesting.
These are master teachers.
I
He
love
won't
it.
even grow to his full height, and the being he is a master teacher with his parents. Who are his parents on that planet? But when they're in the U Expansionary Academy, they're not father and mother and son. They're
No.
master atmas working with each other. Is there a difference? Does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you. Great.
Okay, is everybody done then?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I really enjoy these guiding journeys in English because it's so much more flowing. I can just go.
Mm.
You know, when you started these journeys, I was doing the same thing I'm doing now, but you couldn't keep up with it. And some things you're having trouble visualizing. Now, you go right along with it. See,
Yeah.
it's how much you've changed. That's how much higher your IQ is. You may not know it because you don't have anybody on Earth to compare it to anything. No doctors, no scientists. They don't have any system for comparing that. So we do it with each other. Your brilliance is in what you know.
Mm.
You can have a photographic memory and be dumber than a post on this planet as far as seeing life beyond, respecting it. And there are people on Earth that are brilliant, but they don't see outside the box at all.
Mm.
That's most people on Earth today. Even those you might admire, even the most successful people. Something about Spielberg in this movie about disclosure that's coming out. He actually believes now, in the last few years, that aliens not only exist, they are coming here. He said that. I watched an interview with him.
Right.
So this, although it's a science fiction movie, it's about conflict with the bad men in black trying to kill these two stars, stop them from telling the truth.
Oh,
He's
good.
really 100% behind disclosure.
Yeah.
So this will reach millions of people that aren't in the UFO community. They don't. The few million on Earth that are, or in the disclosure community. It reaches mainstream.
Mm.
So that's the importance of the film, I think. I mean, when he wants to do a film, he works basically dedicated to Universal Studios. He wants to do something, they fund him. He doesn't use his own money. He's a billionaire. He just goes and does it. But at least he's putting his money and his energy where his mouth is about disclosure, which is
It's
a big
great.
change. He was always a fan of outer space and aliens. But disclosure is something, and the knowing that it's true is, and that it's important to get it done, that's new for him. So if you watch an interview with him, you'll hear him say it. That's encouraging because it can help. A little bit here,
Yeah.
a little bit there. Okay.
We
Well,
need
then,
it.
Is he on YouTube?
yeah. And I'm not
Okay.
promoting him. I'm not getting paid. I don't have any affiliation with him. You know, I've got my books and screenplays, and he's going to do whatever he makes up. Guys like that don't have time to assist me with what I'm doing normally. So
What I have a question. What is the except for participants, what is the issue doing your books in English? Stopping you from doing it versus doing it in Thai? The amount of people.
extremely difficult, challenging, and even if you go through interviewing 100 people, you might find one who's experienced enough on the planet with a great deal of effort and correction to do a translation from English to Thai or Japanese or German. It is the most difficult and most expensive thing that any publisher ever has to do. Do you know how many tens of millions were spent by Scholastic, probably, well, I think it's Scholastic Press that signed J.K. Rowling to Harry Potter. You know, that eventually they had to pay for all those books to be translated into 60 languages, didn't they?
Wow.
Very
Yeah.
few authors on earth, even New York Times bestsellers, never get that privilege. You have to be phenomenally successful to get
Yes.
anybody to put up the money to get things translated in another language. Film companies do it all the time with feature films, don't they?
Yeah.
Books? No. That's very rare. So for me to publish any book in another language was technically not possible, but I did it anyway. To make an audiobook with 66 human voices and a British narrator, nobody's ever even attempted to do it. Not the film studios, not Amazon, no one. I couldn't even publish it through Amazon because they wouldn't let it. They wanted me to use their software. It's too limiting.
Yes.
I couldn't create this kind of thing that way. So it's published only through my website. The only way you can get it, because it can't be published through mainly online retailers. It's too, well, certainly Amazon won't do it.
Mm.
Ingram Spark, that distributes to bookstores, does not publish audiobooks. iTunes, that's for music. iBooks is for books. I don't think there's an iAudiobook.
Right.
No.
So you see,
Okay.
there's, when you do something new, you have to build it yourself because nobody
Yes.
has it.
Yeah.
I started out doing this to have something to do while I'm guiding these journeys. It took me almost a year and 3/4 to build that using 11 Lab software, and the people that ran that software had no idea this could be done until I did it. You know, but the software had the ability to do it based on real human voices, so the characters are real. You can't. They're AI motivated to have them speak all my dialogues, but they're based on real human voices in their software. Most people wouldn't
Scott,
have the patience to do that, to actually get all the voices and fix them all just right and work it into what that is.
why did you choose Thai for your journeys on
I
the
didn't
book?
choose it. I didn't choose it.
Perry did.
The Hugh, no, she didn't choose it either.
No?
The Hugh did that
Right.
Oh, okay.
because there were more people available there per square inch who were more ready to journey out of their bodies. Maybe it's their background in Buddhism, I don't know. But the point is that there were more people. People in the Western states and the West are very, very more severely mindlessly entertained and misdirected
Yeah.
than anybody
I
else. So it's difficult to work
drinking and
a following or get a fan base in the United States for this work. Has been so far. Starting to change, but it is a real challenge. Because I'm not asking anything of anyone except to recover who they are.
Yeah.
And help make this change the planet instead of blow yourselves up. That's about it. Otherwise I have no motivation on this planet from its baubles and its things. Don't motivate me at all. I have to deal with money, pay the rent, do this and do that, like anybody else, but I'm not motivated by such things.
mm,
I could be given $1 billion and know exactly what to do with it, where to put it, how to use it, but I'm not attached to possessing it.
yeah.
It's more like a gift or a privilege. I don't claim ownership of things on this planet because the truth is nobody owns anything on this planet. They don't even own their bodies. They don't own their houses. They don't own the planet. They can't take it with them when the body stops working. They
Yeah.
don't get it. They're guests, visitors. We're supposed to be trusted co-creators and co-workers with the source behind all life. Caretakers and custodians of planets. Not their murderers and annihilators.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. People are not functioning normally on Earth yet. They're destined to. That's the good news. But not because of any efforts they can take on their own behalf. This has to come as gift, as grace from out beyond this planet to this world. It is already coming here. It is already engaged. It cannot be stopped. It cannot be reversed. There is no power on this planet that can do anything to alter that direction. And it's underway. So
Right.
this is the good thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
I mean, people don't know how to change themselves. How can they? Old habits and ways of living, eating, and all that drop away as the vibration raises in a being.
Yeah, it does.
The atma starts becoming aware of how it really works and just lets go of other stuff. You can't force it. There's no point to
Mm.
that. You just have to, if I had my way, I'd have waved a big magic staff and gone, Earth's fixed, goodbye, I'm leaving, I'm going home now. But then there's too much involved and too many. Free will is not involved, as people think, because people on Earth don't really have free will awakened. They're manipulated by so many subtle subconscious things. They don't make decisions from free will. Free will decisions can only be made when fear is not involved. If it's involved in any way, it's not free will. Something's manipulating it. Something unseen, something hidden. These are the things we want to end permanently. We shouldn't have subconscious minds at all. See, that's just normal to me. Just normal. Beings from other worlds, if they got out of a ship, a man and a woman, would have such a high rate of vibration. They're just normal, but you'd almost put them on a pedestal like gods. Because their energy is not blocked. It's just boom. So that's not a good thing to expose people to that, because that kind of energy would stimulate all their fears to run their nervous system, and they'd go wacko.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't want to. So those subconscious things are neutralized more effectively and effortlessly as the vibration in the hue and charge in Earth's water rises. People can call it divine spirit charging the ocean. I don't care what they call it. It's the same thing. It has to come from the source behind all life to fix this place. And it has never been about an Armageddon. That's man-made and tyrant-made entirely by people on Earth. It is not some divine plan out there at the source. So we've got to blow up planets so people can be taken to heaven. No. That's the ultimate childishness to think that way. Because we can't be that irresponsible that we can blow things up and abuse things and then expect to be taken into some paradise. We have to change first so we can be trusted with such journeys, right?
Yeah. We do.
Okay. Now I will bring this recording to a stop.